Hey everyone, we're jumping right in today with two massive global crises that are unfolding as we speak. On one hand, you've got this really tense situation in the Arctic, and on the other, a powder keg in the Middle East that's just about to blow. Now, on the surface, they look completely unrelated, but what if they're not? Let's dig in and see what these two flashpoints can tell us about a bold, and maybe even a brand new foreign policy doctrine.
So, that's the big question we're tackling today, right? Are we looking at two completely isolated incidents happening thousands of miles apart, or are they actually two sides of the very same coin? Is there a bigger story here, a single strategy connecting them both? Let's find out.
Okay, first up, let's head way up north. There's a serious diplomatic confrontation brewing in the Arctic, and what's so wild about this one is that it isn't between two old rivals. Nope, this is happening between two NATO allies.
Just look at how fast this thing blew up. Back in 2019, this whole idea of the US trying to buy Greenland, it was kind of treated like a joke, right? Just a weird headline. But in just a few short years, it has completely morphed into a full-blown diplomatic crisis. It's not a joke anymore.
So, what kicked this all off? It's this bill, the Greenland Annexation and Statehood Act. Now, the official justification is all about countering China and Russia's growing influence in the Arctic, with its shipping lanes and all those valuable rare earth minerals. But it's the language in the bill that's got everyone freaking out. It authorizes the president to take, and I'm quoting here, whatever steps necessary. That phrase alone has sent massive alarm bells ringing in Denmark and all across Europe.
And the response from Denmark and Greenland? It was immediate, it was unified, and it was crystal clear. This quote, "Greenland is not for sale," isn't just a polite no. It is a powerful joint declaration of their sovereignty. They're making it absolutely clear that their land, their people, their future, it's not up for negotiation, period.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. You've got this fundamental clash of worldviews. From the US perspective, this is a strategic necessity, a geopolitical chess move against Russia and China for a super important part of the world. But for Denmark and Greenland, this is an existential threat to their national sovereignty. It's about their right to self-determination.
And the stakes could not be higher. We're not just talking about some diplomatic spat over an island. No way. European leaders are openly warning that a move like this could literally fracture the NATO alliance. I mean, think about it. The entire foundation of NATO is Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all. So what happens when one ally starts talking about annexing territory from another ally? It shakes the whole thing to its core. It's no surprise that emergency, high-stakes talks are happening in Washington right now. All right, let's completely switch gears. We're going to travel thousands of miles away to a very different kind of crisis, a real flashpoint in the Middle East. And this time, we're not talking about an ally. We're talking about a long-standing adversary, Iran.
What's happening in Iran is like watching dominoes fall in slow motion. It's a perfect storm. First, you had the external pressures. Iran's most important ally in the region, the Assad regime in Syria, collapsed. Then, airstrikes took out major parts of its nuclear program. That weakness on the outside opened the door for chaos on the inside, with hyperinflation completely out of control, sending waves of angry protesters into the streets.
I mean, the regime is just getting squeezed from every possible angle. Its economy is in absolute freefall, its people are in open revolt in the streets, its nuclear ambitions have been crippled, and its ability to project power across the region through proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas is just crumbling. This is, without a doubt, the most vulnerable the Iranian regime has looked in decades.
And then comes this statement from President Trump, which just pours gasoline all over the fire. See, when he says the U.S. is locked and loaded, that is way more than just a message of support for the protesters. It's a red line. He's basically signaling that if the Iranian regime uses violence to crush these protests, the U.S. is prepared to get involved militarily. That just raised the stakes to a whole new level for everyone.
Okay, so we have two crises. One involves an ally, the other an adversary. They're on opposite sides of the world. But what if they're not as different as they seem? Let's try and connect the dots here and see what the bigger picture looks like.
When you lay it all out like this, side by side, a really interesting pattern starts to show up. Yeah, okay, the goals are different, acquiring territory in one, encouraging regime change in the other. And of course, the targets are different, a NATO ally versus an adversary. But look at the underlying approach, the philosophy. In both cases, what you see is a really assertive, really interventionist foreign policy that uses whatever pressure it can, legislative, diplomatic, or military, to get what it wants.
So where does that leave us? What does all this mean? Whether we're looking at the Arctic or the Middle East, it really feels like we're seeing the signs of a major shift in policy. And that leads us to the final, really important question. Are we watching the dawn of a new, much more aggressive era of American intervention? And if so, who's going to be next?